Hello everyone. This is a paper which I presented during the World Conference on Pandemic Studies in 2021. Title, as you can see, is Rejuvenating Student Well-Being Using Ancient Indian and Modern Strategies. I think this is the presentation overview. Okay. This is the background. During the COVID-19, there was campus shutdown. Teaching had shifted to online mode. For teacher education, it was the online mode. The World Economic Forum around that time published a document stating that inequality and digital divide is very high in India. At the same time, the Sustainable Development Goals, if you look at it, you would see that SDG 3 and 4 were really affected. S3 stands for good health and well-being, and SDG 4 stands for quality education. The teachers had to address student well-being, and not only that, they had to find ways of bridging the digital divide. Of course, some teachers made use of the social media to connect with students and continue education. Certain problems identified during that time was anxiety and depression. It was found to be quite prevalent among school and college going students. Please read this. This is the Lancet finding. We all know that protective family life, peer support, and psychological support from teachers are always essential. So what I'm proposing here is a traditional Indian solution and then the modern Western solution. And these are the solutions I'm proposing. Let's have a look at them. Pranayama is quite familiar to many in India. Prana stands for life energy, and Ayama, it's controlled breathing. Now we need to realize that there's a link between the body, the emotions, the mind, and the spirit. So the breathe in, breathe out exercise can be of great help. Another way which I would like to suggest is the Sattvic way of life. These are the 10 qualities a Sattvic is likely to display. Please read them. So a Sattvic way of life will nourish the body, mind, and spirit. But then even the diet is important. As you can see, they are expected to consume vegetarian food. Yoga, as you know, is very familiar to many Indians. Yoga and meditation is another solution which I'd like to propose. And of course, music for mood change. What I'm suggesting is traditional Indian music, particularly the veena, the tabla, and santoor. Let's listen to it. You'll realize how it can help change the mood. This is the veena. This is the tabla and santoor. Now, the next solution which I'm going to propose relates to Carl Dweck. Many students have something called a fixed mindset, and it was very common, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic. Children didn't want to face challenges, they tried to avoid it. And whenever they get a problem, they are willing to easily give up. In fact, they began to see efforts as fruitless. They don't like criticism or being threatened by others. It was then that she suggested that there is something called the growth mindset, and then teachers have a role to play in helping children develop this growth mindset. This was very essential, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic. We should prepare students to embrace challenges, face obstacles, and see that they have to put in effort if they really want to succeed. And there's always something to learn from criticism. They should also try to get inspired by the success stories of others. These are ways of developing the growth mindset. And then you get the can do attitude. Another thing which I would like to suggest is the one proposed by Shazad Shanane, and it's called positive intelligence. Okay, you must really read that book to grasp it, but here are a few things which you can try. Having open discussions of personal problems, peer support for personal crisis. Now, if you begin showing gratitude to those who have helped, nurturing optimistic thinking, learning to forgive even if some wrong has been done. This is the essence of positive intelligence and it's worth trying. Okay. Now, I must admit that there are limitations. Now, Voltaire, centuries ago, said minds differ still more than faces. So, what I'm suggesting may not work. These are major references. Let me conclude by quoting Loga Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, which means let the whole world be happy. If everyone is happy, you too can be happy. Thank you.